All right, I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Can you hear me, Jeanette?
I can, but let me also raise my volume.
All right.
Go ahead.
So I'd like to call the day, which I can never remember. September 26th. There we go. Here we are. I'd like to call to order and we'll move straight to roll call. Jeanette, do you want me to do roll?
I've got it. Alan Forrest. Is he there?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I can't hear, so speak loudly. Alejandra?
Here.
Anne Marie?
Here.
Asia? Claire?
Here.
Craig?
Craig.
Here.
Gotcha. Eric?
Here.
Kirsten?
Here.
Matt is not here today. Rob?
Here.
Scott Colt?
Here.
Scott Oldendorf?
Here.
And Steve.
Here.
And we have a quorum.
I'd like to go through the virtual reminders, please. Please mute your microphone. This will help ensure that there's no feedback.
That is good.
Okay.
All right. Back in business. All right. I'm going to continue to read the virtual reminders. So if you need to comment or ask a question, please raise your hand. Remember to lower your hand. This is on the computer. After you finish speaking, when you're ready to speak, please don't forget to unmute and then to mute again when you're finished. And remember that only members are allowed to speak during the meeting. During calls to the audience, non-members are welcome to speak. And this meeting is being recorded to satisfy the open meeting law. Good? Right? We'll move on to Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and moving on, we have the call to the audience. Is there any audience that would like to speak today? Hearing none, we'll move to the next item, which is the safety share. Jackson is not here, so we don't have our fallback. Does anybody have a safety share? Yes.
Yeah, driving in this morning, I witnessed a contractor truck lose his extension ladder on the I-19 up above Pima Mine Road. So it just remind A, tie the stuff down, and 2, watch out what's flying at you.
Very good reminder. Any other safety shares that people would like to share with the group?
I'll just throw in there a reminder that we're still in Arizona, so we have a couple more days of high heat advisory tomorrow and Saturday. So drink your water, watch out for heat stress.
And we've had a lot of snakes this year.
I'm just gonna say the same thing.
Yeah.
They're still out.
They are still out. We had an incident in our office where someone came out of our office and wasn't looking down and stepped on a rattlesnake, which then freaked out and ran the other way. And she slammed the door, and then the rattle was sticking out from this door. And what do you do? So anyway, problem solved, but it was very creepy. So please look down.
I got a safety share, Scott Oldendorf. Just remember, we're changing the seasons, with the seasons, and the angle of the sun coming down. It's coming down earlier for sunset. So watch out for that sun that is shining directly in your eyes and blocking your vision when you're driving west or in the morning east. So just be careful with the angles of the sun, because I personally was involved with somebody dying
And one more thing, school is back in session. Kids are walking to bus stops. And this morning, as I pulled out, 2 kids just like likely walked in front of me, and I had to go. Here they are. So, wow, we managed without Jackson. Does anybody else have one? Okay, we'll move on then. Yeah. Okay. So approval of the minutes. Everybody have a chance to read the minutes. Great job on those. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Eric,
And
Could you identify, please?
Eric was first, and Scott Oldendorf is the second. All right, all those, any discussion? Discussion on the minutes, any changes or discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. We'll move on to discussion and action, which includes the director update. Jaime, are you going to be giving that today?
I have a couple of things that Jackson wanted to bring up. We had the update for reportable incidents this year. At 2024, we are at 2, which is excellent. We rather have it be 0, but 2 is a pretty good record, and we're trending down, which is good. Was that the department received a brownfield cleanup cooperative agreement grant from the EPA. That's about $500,000 of funds that the department will use to clean up facilities at the Royal Road facility that's currently mothballed, but the buildings are there, and there's some lead-based paint and asbestos that is in need to be removed in order for that facility to be redeveloped into something else.
How much was that grant?
It's $500,000
Oh.
from the EPA. So we'll be moving to issue a contract to start the process of cleaning up lead-based paint and asbestos on the facility. After that, the facility will be cleared of those environmental hazards, and they can move into the next step of redevelopment.
That's great. It's exciting news for the region to have that area. Is that all your?
Those are the 2 things we have in the agenda.
Okay. Then we have, did you want to move on to the division or is?
We can do that.
Okay. All right. Move on to item, this is H2, the TS&E division update. So I'll see you.
Do you have that, Marla, or do you want me to share?
I got it. Do you guys, can you guys see it?
You want to probably go to the image.
Operator area there. Can you guys see the presentation?
We
It's
can.
not, yeah, it's not in slideshow mode, so if you do need it bigger, you can do that. Go into the slideshow mode.
There we go.
Okay, good.
Well, good afternoon, or good morning, everybody. We're going through the update for the Technical Services and Engineering Division. The layout of our division remains the same. We have the 8 groups that compose the division. We have the administration group, Olivia, who is our special projects master and expert. We have the O&M, CIP, delivery group, engineering services, field engineering, GIS, maps and records, capacity modeling, and a compressed and regulatory group. I'm going to start with an update on staffing challenges. They continue. We have been having trouble finding candidates in the mid-level positions, although the entry-level positions are, we're having good luck with those. It's a good example of the update on the wages they did recently, that they're attracting the younger generation back into our department. But we're still having trouble in the middle level positions. We have had a lot of retirements. Most recent one, Eric Woodward left us like a week ago. So there goes 27 years of expertise. So with retirements, we're trying to keep up on passing that knowledge to all the groups that are in the different sections. With that, we're trying to map our processes, try to find efficiencies, and identifying areas where we can cross-train and get other personnel to share on the load of those areas that are having trouble filling positions. Our administration group focuses on basically our out-facing group. They handle all the customer calls, customer visits, and they're, as everybody else, are trying to make it more efficient. They're putting together some guides and sharing them with the group and the division, so everybody can answer questions if they're tasked with questions. One of the areas that group helps with is identifying and pursuing missing utility fees, and that's been one of the recent efforts. For example, there's one recently that they identify a medical facility that forgot or missed to pay the water utility connection fees, and that was close to $500,000 worth of fees that were not paid, and they were able to identify and basically backtrack and regroup the original construction company and the owner so they could go and pay those fees that were missed. The next section we have is the field engineering section. They're composed of the field engineering inspection group and also the Blue Stack division. Field inspections is focusing on the construction efforts in the county, while Blue Stack identify our assets in the ground before the construction starts, so we avoid construction incidents or hits. The Blue Stack has an average workload of about 6,500 Blue Stack tickets per month, and that's been consistent for the last 3 years. So we don't see a downtrend yet of construction. It's been consistent, and they're a group that's available and that has a 48-hour response time. They're 24/7 on call. In case of emergencies, they are available to go out and identify the location of our sewer assets so construction or repairs can take place. There's always some missed identification of assets, and for example, the picture here shows a black bore line or conduit that broke through one of our connections or sewer lines. So it is more difficult for the boring construction efforts to miss our lines. That's something that we're still working with the company so they can figure out a way to better identify the elevations and avoid having conflicts like that. The field inspection group basically handles any construction in the county that involves sewers, and their workload is about 150 construction permits per year, and it's also been consistent for the last 3 years. There's not been an uptick or a downtrend on construction permits. It's been fairly consistent between 150, 130, but on average 150 construction permits per year. The mapping and records group handles all the GIS mapping of our assets. Those inspections result in as-bills. The as-bills come to this group. This group input that data on our GIS maps and scan those as-bills into our system. The Blue State group use those informations and the as-bills and the GIS maps to go out and locate. So it's like a cycle there that closes up as construction takes place and as-bills are developed and input into the map guide system. Our group uses that data, and also the conveyance group uses that data to perform maintenance, repair, and identification of the assets in the field. Here's a summary of what they do: as-bills, maps, GIS layers. All of that is a cycle that helps many divisions in our department. The hydraulic modeling group, flow metering, is handled by Ben Fayok. They have the capacity modeling for the department system. It has every sewer line that we have in the system is in this model. They run. They are able to run scenarios, and they use that data to see where we are having to upgrade or upsize sewer lines because we're reaching capacity, or if development can connect and install their planned construction without issues to our system. In some cases, they identify a development needs to augment a portion of our sewer system in order for them to connect, or as growth continues to take place, they help us identify where the department is to invest in upsizing or increasing the flow capacity of our system. The flow metering group has all the devices that go out there, and we lost capacity modeling, the modeling of the system. We have our whole system in a computer model that can run scenarios and sort of predict where issues will be happening with capacity or sizing for development. Flow monitoring, the flow metering group, they handle all the devices that are feeding the data to the capacity modeling group to calibrate, and also they provide information to developers as far as how much flow capacity is available in a particular pipeline, and for construction when they need to estimate the flows for bypassing sections of the system to do construction activities. And basically, they have 35 sites that are permanent throughout the county, and they have another 40 portable devices that they can use as needed for supporting calibration activities or construction activities to locate problems with INI inflow and infiltration. They use those as needed to gather all that data and bring it over to the flow modeling group to analyze. The engineering group uses, they have control of the utility coordination and permitting group, engineering services, and capacity and planning groups. They work hand in hand with the development services group to review plans that include new sewer construction or relocations. The planning group reviews development, construction, and they provide the agreements that those new developers need to comply with when they're connecting their new subdivisions or businesses or factories to the sewer system. The CIP drug delivery group is composed of three areas. The one in conveyance, they handle all the maintenance, repair, rehabilitation, manholes, pipes, pump stations, or control sites. The treatment division does the same thing, maintenance, repair, and rehabilitation of all the treatment assets, plants, pumps, any mechanical devices and electronic devices that are used to treat all the waste that comes into the plant. And they have a project controls group that handle all the paperwork that goes along with all that construction, invoices, as-bills, submittals, etc. And there's a little snapshot of what they've done in the last year. Our current program is $65.8 million, and that includes maintenance, repair, new construction. The volume of work for the treatment and conveyance job is about $30 million per year of that 55 that we have budgeted. The balance is in specific projects like the force main augmentation project for the Continental Ranch Pump Station, Class A biosolid project, and the new digester facility that will be hopefully starting in the next month or two. They'll add another digester to the Tres Rios facility. Just a quick summary of what each of the job groups include. They have 3 jobs in the treatment division, and they have about a $3 million maximum limit they can issue work in. If it's more than $3 million, they have to go and procure either at SEMA or design build contract. And the same thing with the conveyance division. They have 4 jobs that handle all their work through the year and about the same limit, $3 million. The volume in the conveyance division is a lot higher, but the dollar amounts are smaller. So all in all, they're about the same volume, but the treatment division work is more expensive, so they can do less work in a given year. And with that, it's the end. And if there are any questions on the TS&E division, just go ahead and I can answer them.
Do we have any questions for Jaime? Can we see everyone again, or is everybody still there?
You just need to unshare the screen.
Okay, good. You're all there. Just a little worried for a minute.
Can you see us?
Yes, ma'am. I think you're muted.
Right, so we'll get back to it. Are there any questions about TS&E? Any of the members? Bishop, yes.
Yeah, I don't have a question for Jaime, but the sound and the audio seems to have gotten pretty bad again. And yeah,
Oh,
that's all I want to say.
all right.
It's better now. It's better now. Don't touch any wires.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for your informative presentation. We appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. So we'll move on to item 3, which is approval of the annual report to the Board of Supervisors. And this is something we definitely need to get done. We had a chance to review the annual report last time with all of our changes. I think there were just a couple other edits after that. Are there any comments? It's a beautiful report. Any comments from any of the members? Hearing none.
I do want to say one thing. We did find some formatting errors in the comings and goings section that have already been brought to communications attention to be corrected. Yeah, even Alejandra's name, I'm so sorry, it's been corrected. Yeah, some fun stuff.
Okay, great. Well, it's always worth a last edit, right? Any other comments, Jeanette? Are we ready to move forward with the motion to approve?
If the committee members have no comments or last minute corrections, I think we're ready.
All right. Yeah.
You guys sent it yet? The report?
No, they have not sent it.
Okay, because that's my twin sister's photo, that's not my personal.
Oh, my word.
Oh, Alejandra, please send me your photo then.
I'll send it to you. I'm sorry.
Well, I wouldn't have guessed that because
No,
she's
you
your
never
twin.
know. Exactly, and she's also an engineer, and she's around here in Tucson too, so probably because of that.
Or this wrong company, right?
Yeah, wrong company. Yeah, different company. That's funny. Yeah, I'll send you, Jeanette, I'll send you a new picture.
Thank you.
How'd you get that?
That's so funny. Okay, well, thank you for that thing. So, do I hear a motion to approve with the change of pictures for Alejandra? Is there a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve.
Scott Oldendorf makes a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second it, Eric.
Eric Sowald is seconding. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any, okay, any opposed? I think we're good. Motion passes. Congratulations on a great job. That was just a heroic, big lift that you guys did, as it is every year. So thank you so much for doing that. We'll move on to item number 4, which is the fiscal year 2023-2024 period expense report, and we have the SAA. Are you available?
I hope y'all can hear me.
Yes. Yeah.
Excellent. I'll share my screen and we'll get going. Excellent. Let me show can we all see my screen?
Yes. Yes, we can.
Okay, excellent, good. So these are period 15 expense and revenue summary. We did a change to the request of the last meeting that we had to add the revised budget. So as the yellow column that we see here, that is the revised budget as well here in the chart. So our total O&M expenses, not including contrast, the adopted budget was 96.7 million. The revised budget increased to 100.9 million. The actuals as of period 15 are 96.7 million, giving us a variance of 4.1 million on that. And we scroll down here to total O&M expenses, including the contra depreciation debt services. Our adopted budget was 176, and our revised was 180.2. Our actuals came down to 170.3, giving us a variance of $9.8 million. Scrolling down here to our revenue, we can see that adopted and revised were the same, 194.6, with the actuals coming in at $219.9 million, which gave us a variance of $25.2 million to the good in the revenue. So good job on the revenue side. One of the biggest ones was the capital contributions. We were not expecting. That's one of the highs that I've seen so far, $25.7 million. So excellent job. Questions?
The capital contributions, what is that?
Capital contributions is when a company builds a new subdivision, and all the sewage that they build, they pretty much give it to Pima County So that's the capital contribution that they give us. So we receive all that infrastructure, which as well down the road we have to maintain. So it is considered a capital contribution because it's an asset.
I see. So that means, construction has gone up. in the
Correct.
region.
Yes, that's a good indicator.
Mhm. Any questions at this point? None? Well, thank you very much. We appreciate your report.
Thank you all.
Yes. We will move on now to item number 5, which is financial subcommittee report. I believe Matt Matthewson is not available. Is somebody else going to give that report? I really, okay, good. Thank you.
We had a meeting, this is Eric, we had a meeting in September with the finance department for the county. We went over, started reviewing the 4 pillars and the white paper that was prepared. The finance committee is going back to do some revisions and looking at some of the items that we discussed. And we're gonna have another meeting in early November, at which time we'll go back over some of the changes that were being shown. That date for the meeting in November, they're looking at 4th, 5th, and I believe the 6th. For that meeting, we don't have it fully scheduled yet. Jeanette's working on that. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. That's item number 5. Moving on to number 6, the CIP subcommittee report. Who's doing that one? Asia?
Yeah, the CIP subcommittee has not had a meeting. We are looking to schedule our meeting closer to the at the beginning of next calendar year. And so I don't have anything to report unless there are any questions.
That sounds great. Thank you very much. And then moving on to item 5, the Citizen Water Advisory Committee report. And who does that? Oh, of course.
Yeah, so a couple things that I thought might be of interest to this group that came up during the last CWAC meeting. One was just a Colorado River update. And so every August, the Bureau does their projections, and then that leads to shortage tier declarations. Basically, Lake Mead has held pretty steady over this last year, so tier 1 shortage will continue into next year and through next year. So good news, bad news, I mean, it's no news really. It just kind of, we're holding steady, which probably is good news overall, because most of that holding steady has come from reduced usage of all the allottees off the Colorado River. We had a pretty good winter snowpack, but it wasn't outstanding, so that was pretty normal, I think. So really what we're seeing is the effect of the conservation efforts paying some dividends. But so that's through 2025, and just a little reminder, that's under the interim guidelines, and those expire in 2026. So we only have another year or so with those. So something else has to be done long-term, and nobody knows except the people in the room where that's going. So
Very opaque.
stay tuned on that. Another thing they went over with CWAC, Tucson Water did was a financial plan review, and as part of that was a pretty in-depth discussion on their cost of service methodology that they're using, particularly for reevaluating or relooking at their differential rates. So they're working through that with some consultants, and more to come on that, I guess, as they move further along.
Do they feel that they are, they need to be more differentiated, or did they have a direction they were going with that?
Yeah, I think again, they were a little circumspect just because of the lawsuits and all that, but basically, I think my understanding, I'm not the attorney, so if I get it wrong, don't hold it against them. But, so the way I understand it is the lawsuit between Pima County and Tucson Water and the differential rates, it basically was kind of a mixed bag, came out of the courts. It basically said, Tucson Water, you have the right to do that, but you didn't prove, the need or you didn't calculate it right, basically, is kind of what they said. So we're not gonna allow it. And then the county, so you'd say, well, maybe the county came out ahead in that, but then they also said the county only had standing for the county. They couldn't represent all the individual customers. They could only represent their connections, their bills that they paid. So they appealed that. I think we're still in the middle of that appeal to see what happened there. So I think the city kind of feels like they're allowed to do it. They just need to do a better job of justifying it. That's essentially, I think, where they're at.
Thank you.
And that's what this is all about.
Okay. Any other questions for Alan? Hearing none, we'll move on. Thank you very much. And we're just buzzing right through this meeting. Future agenda items, any suggestions? No? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to the call to the audience, item number, whatever that is, J. Call to the audience. Any audience members have a comment to make? No? All right, we will call for adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Good. Okay, Rob, seconds?
Fast.
You were fast on the trigger there. So, yeah, and fast on the meeting. Thanks very much. Any discussion on adjournment? Hearing none, I'll call the question.
Next.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, we'll see you all in October.
24th.
October 24th.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.